Lavinia Trevelyan, the spinster, lives all alone in a flat. She'd like to get married if only some chap asks her to church. She'd snap up the offer. Lavinia Trevelyan, the spinster, doesn't know why she's not wed, but the cause of her problem is easy to see. No style, no grace, no mystery. That's why she's so sad and lonely. That's why she's left on the shelf. 'Cause while other girls all wear fashionable clothes, she makes her dresses herself. Lavinia Trevelyan, the spinster, wants to be different and new, wearing outrageously up-to-date gowns, visiting houses with rambling grounds. But dear Miss Trevelyan, the spinster, never quite gets a thing right. Her waists are too high and her necks are too low. Buttons come off, metal zippers will show. That's why she's so sad and lonely. That's why she's left on the shelf. 'Cause while other girls all wear fashionable outfits, she makes her dresses herself. Lavinia Trevelyan, the spinster, with her Yves Saint Laurent western couture, wants to be noticed both near and far, from Holiday Inn to the Dragon Aura. So Lavinia Trevelyan, the spinster, sits all alone in her flat. Her huddled, bespectacled figure is seen by the dim working light of her sewing machine. That's why she's so sad and lonely. That's why she's left on the shelf. 'Cause while other girls all wear fashionable clothes, she makes her dresses herself. Yes, she does. She makes her dresses herself. Isn't it nice to have the quiet of the country, with the call of every animal and bird, and the lorry hauling cattle, and the postman's deafening rattle, and the tractor straining up the hill in whining third? Isn't it a pleasure in the country, where everything's traditionally done? There's a craftsman, the thatcher, he scrambles up to patch a roof to nothing but the endless thud of Radio 1. It's not all cider with Rosie or a copywriter's scene. Oh, it's not just a sepia picture in a glossy magazine. It's nice to know the people in the country as they while their rustic lives away. Youths on Yamahamas and the sons of wealthy farmers and the barking dogs and foaming grog on market day. It's nice to hear the echoes of the country. At night the sports cars lonely scream. The vocal village tower tells the locals in the bar it's time to stagger home to the old mill stream. Oh, it's not all cider with Rosie or a copywriter scene. It's not just a sepia picture in a glossy magazine. Now if you've listened to A Small Country Living, we've brought you sweat and grime and dirt and fear. But if you're still around and trying, we will all be back again another year. Oh, it's not all cider with Rosie, it's the way it's come to be. Though it's not just a sepia picture, it's home sweet home to me. The first time I saw you, I was 8 years old, drawn to the procession like the faithful to the fold. But you never noticed my Union Jack and me. Still, I rang out the bells when we had the Jubilee. When you came to our school, you went where you were led. Handshakes with the governors and coffee with the head. And tiny rooms and dank dark walls you never got to see. Still, we rang out the bells and we had the Jubilee. You want to watch those people who plan your every hour and keep you from reality and in your ivory tower. And waves and smiles and limousines are all we got to see. Still, we rang out the bells and we had the Jubilee. Half an hour later, you were lunching with the man, and I was in the playground in the smoky city air. But proud to be in England and sovereign and free, ringing out the bells and having the Jubilee. From the stage you told us that we'd great things in store, and we should work to make our country great once more. And to be successful working hard was all we had to do. Oh, with great respect, Your Majesty, I've got news for you. The first time I saw you, I was 8 years old, and drawn to the procession like the faithful to the fold. But you never noticed my Union Jack and me. Still, we rang out the bells when we had the Jubilee. Oh yes, we rang out the bells when we had the Jubilee. It's an English country morning without undue delay. Jason Stace, the ace reporters, up to face the day. All the world's a headline, and lest we should forget, oh, it hasn't really happened if it hasn't been recorded in the Bugle and Gazette. Jason Stace, the ace reporters, polishing his words, sharpening his adjectives and loosening his verbs. He's the mini Milton Schulman, the Alastair Burnett of the yokels, vocal, the Bugle and Gazette. He can fill a page with something when there's nothing much to say, or when he's forced he can unleash some nouveau riche cliché. His professional detachment isn't easily upset when he's working for the Bugle and Gazette. Jason Stace, the ace reporter's first upon the scene, tough, abrasive, quite persuasive, resolute and keen. With his pen, his pad, his pencil and his portable cassette, he's looking for a story for the Bugle and Gazette. The counsellor's companion, the college student's friend, when face to face with Stace the ace, the toughest villains bend. He says everything to everyone as anyone can get, as the ace and star reporter of the Bugle and Gazette. Perhaps one day he'll branch away, become a TV star, with the clipboard and a microphone, a fast and flashy car. He'll lean into the camera with his regular furrowed frown and say, Jason Stace, news at 10, Bedminster down. You see, no one wants to slave away for 10 or 15 years, 'cause being an ace reporter isn't all it first appears. It's really very boring interviewing the local vet for the back page of the Bugle and Gazette. And village do's in Dundry and the Filton First Aid Fair, a wedding in West Harptree or Weston-super-Mare, someone rustling cattle or a burgled maisonette, all given front page treatment in the Bugle and Gazette. It's an English country morning, and without undue delay, Jason Stace, the ace reporters, up to face the day. All the world's a headline, and lest we should forget, Oh, it hasn't really happened if it hasn't been recorded in the Bugle and Gazette.
Hello, Weston. Great. The nuns of St. Cecilia's are out without a care. They're doing their weekly shopping in Weston-super-Mare. Inflation is the devil and the devil they must fight. But does the Mother Superior have to be so tight? The nuns of St. Cecilia think she's awfully mean, but the nuns of St. Cecilia's have no union machine, and they can only spend as much as she thinks they can afford. There's no pay code when you're working for the Lord. Sister Teresa makes her way past the bra and negligee. Sister Anne, who's older than her, calls her away. Poor old Mother Superior feels misunderstood. Economy and wage restraint is in the orders good, and Father McGuinness has promised a review, and it's then negotiations can renew. And Sister Mary Magdalene would like to spend the day out of reach and on the beach with the Chinese takeaway. A number 7, a 24 and a 38. But Sister Mary Magdalene is going to have to wait till they've climbed every mountain. Without any fuss, they meet by the fountain, and they all ride home in their little minibus. And if you should see them, oh, say a little prayer for the nuns who do their weekly shopping in Weston-super-Mare.
On Councillor McCafferty's 52nd birthday, he was very pleased with the presents he'd received. No one was offended at the holiday extended to McCafferty. And Councillor McCafferty is sitting on his conscience, rocking on a chair by an imitation fire. No patience with the jibes of favoured gifts and bribes has McCafferty. And we must admit, and we have to say, Councillor McCafferty has come a long way. We must admit, and we have to say, Councillor McCafferty has come a long way. Councillor McCafferty's public reputation is the very essence of respectability. Politically deft, radical and left is McCafferty, and he is loudly proud of his achievement, remembering with bitterness the bad old days, the struggle and the fears, the dozen wasted years of But now he boasts an honorary gown for his selfless dedication to the town. And we must admit, and we have to say, Councillor McCafferty has come a long way. Councillor McCafferty is opening an envelope. It's an invitation from the BBC to a civilized debate on morals in the state. Cue McCafferty. And with savage eloquence, common sense and fervor, he tells a million viewers the socialistic way of resolving situations. Congratulations, McCafferty, 'cause it's rumored there and whispered here the possibility of honors in the brand new year. And we must admit, and we have to say, Councillor McCafferty has come a long way. There's an allegation in the local paper. Councillor McCafferty's involvement is confirmed. Nobody can hide the fierce and broken pride of McCafferty. But his friends all say that he isn't really evil. He has principles and standards of his own. It's just a pity that he went and kept the things they sent him on his birthday. And we must admit, and we have to say, that Councillor McCafferty came a long way. We must admit, and we have to say, Councillor McCafferty came a long way.